This pattern has so many color changes, it's the perfect project for me to show you how to change colors. I'm at the point where I'm switching from the brown cat here to this gray cat, and because it's the first that I've made of this gray cat, I do have to add on a new color, so let me show you how. This project is made by working double crochets. So I made the first part of my double crochet, but before I do my final yarn over and pull through, I'm gonna go ahead and switch to my next color. In this case, it's gray. So I'm going to yarn over with the gray and pull that through the last 2 loops to complete the double crochet. One important thing is that I want to leave a long tail, probably about 6 or 8 inches, because I'm going to need to weave this in later. And again, I completed my double crochet with that new color. So now I can go ahead and switch and make my next stitches with the new color. One other thing to consider if you're working on something like tapestry crochet or something that has a front and a back is that you want to make sure that when you're adding your new color, you're bringing the tail to the back of your work so that you can keep the front of your work nice and neat and tidy. Working on a project like this that has a lot of color changes, you may choose to just drag your yarn with you instead of tying on and cutting off your yarn each time you need it. So in the previous row, I used this tan color until I was here and I switched to brown. In this case, for my next row, I need to switch back to tan. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did when I was adding on the gray. I started my double crochet and I'm gonna pull the tan through for the last 2 loops. But again, instead of tying on a new color, I'm just gonna keep it attached here and I'm gonna run it upwards. And as I make my final yarn over pull through with the gray, I've just ran my yarn up. Again, that is why it's so important to have a front and the back, because you will be able to see where you ran the yarn, but you won't be able to see it from the front. The front is still nice and neat. And then all of your ends and all of the yarn that you're running is gonna be only on the back side. So at that point, now I can just put my gray down and then start working my tan this way. And then when I need to pick up gray on my next row, I'll do the same thing with that and just run my yarn up to that next row. Now that I'm done with my tan color, I'm gonna be switching to this white cat here. So I'll be doing 4 stitches in white, 2 in black, 4 in white, 2 in black, 4 in white, and then I'll be starting the beginning of this brown cat here as well. Okay, now I'm gonna work the last stitch of this row that I need in tan. So I'm going to start my double crochet, but before I do my final double crochet, again, I'm going to drop the tan to the back of my work, pick up my white and do my final yarn over and pull through with the white instead. Now in this case, I didn't have to drag the yarn, the white yarn, across the back because I need the white so frequently for the different cats, for all of the eyes. I've chosen to just crochet over the white throughout the project. And now I can go ahead and make my 4 stitches in white. Again, I'm at this part of my project here. So I've finished my tan. I've got 4 white stitches, 2 black stitches, 4 white stitches, 2 black stitches, 4 white stitches, and then 2 browns to complete this round. So I'm going to work my 4 white double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and then as I do my 4th and final, I'm going to start my double crochet, but before I do my final yarn over and pull through, I'm going to go ahead and grab my black yarn and add it. I'm going to do my final yarn over and pull through with the black, and then leave a long tail of about 6 or 8 inches to the back of my work. And now I can go ahead and make my 2 black double crochets. We've got 1. And then as I work my second, because I'm going to be switching back to white, I'm going to start that second double crochet. But in my final yarn over pull through, I'm going to drop the black to the back of my work, pick up the white and do my yarn over and pull through with the white instead. Now I can do my 4 white stitches. We've got 1, 2, 3. My fourth and final of this bit. So again, before doing my final yarn over and pull through, I'm going to grab my black yarn. Now in this case, because I used it only a few stitches back, instead of tying on a new color, I'm just going to drag it along. If it's less than say 10 stitches, I usually just drag it across the back of my work. If it's any more than that, then I would recommend making a separate little bobbin and tying on a new color instead. But since it's only a few, I'll do my final yarn over, pull through with black, and just run it across. Again, make sure you're running across the back of the work. Work my 2 double crochets with black. So 1, 2. But in my final pull through, again, I'm dropping the black, picking up the white, and doing that for my yarn over, pull through. Okay, now I can work my final 4 double crochets in white. And then here's my fourth and final. And now I need to switch over to brown. So again, because I've used brown so frequently in this project, I had a brown cat here. At the end of the work, there's also another brown cat. Then I just made this small little ball of yarn. You can use binder clips to make a small ball. For me, I just wound it on itself. Okay. So I've got the first part of my double crochet. Again, I'm gonna have my new yarn here. I'm going to yarn over and pull through with that new color. Again, leaving a tail of about 6 or 8 inches back towards the back side of my work. And then I'm going to work my final 2 double crochets in this new brown color. Here's the front side of those stitches that we just made. Again, we ran our black yarn in between the 2 eyes that we made, but because we did that on the back end, the front is nice, and all of those ends, all the yarn we ran is nice and hidden. I'll show you how to do a color change on the front side, and that's really done the same way. I've made my double crochet here, but before I did my final yarn over and pull through, I'm gonna drop my brown, where when we were working on the wrong side, we brought it to the wrong side. In this case, I'm gonna bring it to the back because I don't want the color changes to show. So I'm just gonna drop the brown to the back of my work to bring it this way. And as I grab my white, and I'm pulling that through here, and then working my next few stitches with white. One more time, I'll demonstrate how to do a color change on the right side of your work. And as we did before with the tan color, because I used it in this stitch in the previous row, I still have it tied on, so I'm going to go ahead and drag it up a little bit. Again, I'm going to make sure when I drag it, I'm doing that on the back of my work. And I did the first start of my double crochet here, and then before I do my final yarn over and pull through, I'm going to grab that tan, bring it up on the back side of my work, and do a yarn over and pull through with the tan color. Again, make sure that's nice and tight. Now I can go ahead and begin to use my tan color for this row. And even though I ran it, again, I'm keeping everything to the back side so that the front is still nice and neat. Hope you found this tutorial very helpful. Make sure you give me a like on this video and make sure to follow me if you don't already for more tips and tricks and crochet patterns. Bye!